But with Democrats' electoral future more uncertain than ever, the Biden administration is quietly preparing for an onslaught of GOP-led congressional investigations next year should Republicans regain control of Congress. According to the Washington Post, the White House has already begun staffing up in anticipation of going on the defense. So, Chris, does that I guess could that shock the party in charge currently into I don't know, trying harder, or if it's a matter of like life and death of survival of facing inquiries, that kind of thing, if they lose power?
Well, this presidential elections and midterm elections have very little connected together. The Democrats could lose a ton of seats this year and still potentially mount a pretty strong campaign in 2024. And I think one of the things Democrats are really struggling with this year is the fact that they control Congress and the White House, and Democratic voters are feeling like there's not a lot to get enthused about. Democratic enthusiasm is much lower than Republican enthusiasm is right now. But one thing that American politics has shown over the last couple of decades is fear and anger are powerful motivators. So if you see Republican committees filing all sorts of hearings and having all sorts of very inflammatory sort of show trials, that'll give Democrats something to get enthused about and potentially turn their fortunes around for 2024.
Rachel, do you think it's going to be politically popular for Republicans to go after Democrats in this kind of onslaught of investigations if they take over, probably when they take over Congress in the fall?
I think it really depends, honestly, on the breakdown of the Congress. If you have, a full Republican House or Republican Senate, but Biden in the White House, I think the expectations change a little bit versus a Republican House, a Democratic Senate. The expectations change there too. If you're not going to be able to accomplish your legislative agenda, then your oversight agenda is where you really have to double down. And I do think there's some element of the Republican base that does, want these things investigated. They feel, as though they've been treated unfairly, that Biden has been given an advantage, that no one's looked into very, flamingly obvious questions about, what his son was doing in Ukraine and elsewhere. And I think they do want answers in that regard. And one thing I do think that may come back to bite Democrats is the astounding precedent they've established for the January 6th Select Committee. We have never seen a committee as willing to throw precedent overboard as we have with this committee. They've laid down some tremendous markers about what a committee can demand in terms of documents, records, even on their own colleagues. I don't know if Republicans will embrace that, but some form of Rubicon has been crossed in terms of what can be done by a congressional committee. I don't know if Republicans will pick that up, but it is available to them.